Hey, happy day, Avengers fans, and welcome to Screen Rant. I'm Greg Elliott, your marvelous host on all things Marvel, and I just gotta say, I really liked Avengers Endgame. I love time travel stuff, and it's my absolute favorite sci-fi genre, with Terminator, 12 Monkeys, and of course, Back to the Future at the top of the list.
So Back to the Future is a bunch of bullshit?
Yeah, I was upset to hear that too. Anyway, the time travel plan in Endgame works pretty well, and it was a lot of fun to see our heroes visit some of the other films from the last decade, just as long as you don't analyze it too much. I'm looking at you, old Steve Rogers, in our timeline. But did you know that the time travel almost wasn't part of the movie? Yeah, the whole time travel concept was initially pitched and then scrapped before a business decision unintentionally changed everything. So Marvel has made a point of injecting lots of humor into its movies and keeping the tone mostly light, even when dealing with something like killing half the universe. But it turns out that need to keep comedy alive in the MCU ended up unlocking Endgame in a way not even the writers planned for it to, and it's all thanks to Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm. So because Ant-Man and the Wasp came out after Infinity War, Marvel decreed that he couldn't be in that movie, explaining it by saying he was under house arrest during its events. And the reason for doing so actually makes sense. If Infinity War and the Snap had happened before the Ant-Man sequel, you'd end up having a pretty depressing Ant-Man movie, and nobody's going to the movies to see Paul Rudd be sad, right? During a panel at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con, Christopher Marcus, one of the Endgame co-writers, explained that early on they knew that they wanted to end Infinity War with the Snap, but they didn't yet know how to fix it. They didn't just want to use a get-out-of-jail-free card and undo it easily, and the idea of time travel came up right away, but was actually thrown out because it's, quote, a cheesy science fiction idea. But because they weren't allowed to use Ant-Man in Infinity War but could use him in Endgame, they realized that they can now bring him back in a way that not only kind of makes sense, but also gave the story, and the Avengers, the tool that they needed to bring it all together, the Quantum Realm. Realizing that time works a little differently in the Quantum Realm, Marcus had an epiphany, quote, "We can do a time machine because we have an excuse to do a time machine." The team brought in an actual physicist to help them work it out, and through the rules of movie magic, they did it. Scott Lang was protected from the Snap because he was inside the Quantum Realm, and thanks to a hungry rat, he was able to escape with only 5 hours, not years, having passed for him. So not only did they find a way to bring Ant-Man into Endgame in a way that mostly made sense, the way he did it gave the Avengers their solution to the Snap, Pym particles, and time travel. Honestly, the whole Quantum Realm thing works so well, within the confines of the MCU that is, that it's hard to believe that the writers of Endgame didn't consider it sooner. It was only because they were forced to not include Ant-Man in Infinity War that they had to get creative to make their own time travel rules work for them. And it's a good thing too, because if we're going off time cop rules, then the same matter can't occupy the same space, so that fight between the two Captain Americas could have gotten a lot messier. Gross, I know. Alright guys, well that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that peek into the creative process of Marvel movie writing. It's clear that sometimes they're just making it up as they go along, but as Sarah Connor would put it, the future is not set. I'm Greg Elliott with Screen Rant, and I'll see you next time. Peace.